Classic. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, everybody, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are fast, and we have the Yamagoat here online with us, Mr. Cody Webb coming in. There's so many people to say hi to. I'm not going to go through everybody. Sorry. I will try to get to your questions if you ask, though. Everybody's saying hi, hi, hi. There we go. Nothing questions yet.
Oh, there's a message right here. Oh, I see it now.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
So yeah. First of all, Cody, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Um, and thank you for getting your wife to be on kid duty this morning.
Yeah.
Mine is also. Um, so let's start off. Obviously, big news. Your move to Yamaha. Give us the rundown on like the short Cliff Notes version of how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it all started probably like 2 or 3 years ago when I was at Erzberg. Paul Torres was there on the Tenere that year. And I've known Paul forever. I know his uncle was like Jordi Torres, 7-time world trials champion. So like he's tied into the trials world. And, I've known him since I was super young, competed against him forever in trials and some hard enduro stuff. So yeah, I'm there at Erzberg chatting with him. The Tenere he's got is obviously badass, so everyone's checking it out. And I met the rally manager for France out of France, and they do like rally tour stuff, and they're the ones that do like the rally stuff with Pole on the Tenere. So I met that guy. He was like, "Hey, FIM Hard Enduro is trying to do an adventure bike class. We would love to have a team of you and Pole. Like you guys are the right candidates. You're taller than average, and you have a name." So it all started there, and then I got some emails at Yamaha USA because obviously I'm a different, I'm not like global, and nothing really came out of it. They're like, "Oh, we can give you a couple bikes." When I talked to Yamaha originally, but I don't think I talked to the right person. And then this year my contract was up, and it's everyone's duty to at least do a little bit of fishing to see if there's something available, right? And obviously I had a good time with Sherco, like no hard feelings there or anything like that. And I chatted with the owner Ron for like 20 minutes last night. He called me just to kind of debrief on everything, because it's been wild the last few days, but we're still all kosher there. So yeah, I reached out to Yamaha, nothing came of it. Did the next 2 years with Sherco, and I'm like, well, I might as well try again now. And I got the contact of Jim Roach, who's like head of racing in US. And he like manages, not, it doesn't manage Star, but like everything to do with the top level dogs. He's the guy. And I emailed him Friday before TKO, and he emailed me back 10 minutes later and goes, "Hey, let me check the budget. I'll let you know." And I'm like, "Oh crap. All right." Uh, Monday morning comes, I get a call, probably like 9 California time. And so like not long after he was at work, and I'm like, "Irvine, all right, well, we'll see who this is." And then I check the voicemail, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to call this guy back." Jim called me like
Yeah.
that following Monday. So yeah, I called him back and just chatted on the phone, kind of what I wanted to do, give him the spiel of like what I had in mind. And he was like, "Get me a needs list by Wednesday night, end of day Wednesday, of what you want out of this, and we'll see if we can do it." And I'm like, "All right." So apparently I should have asked for more, because I undervalued myself, because they're like gave me even more than I anticipated on top of that. So I was like, okay, we're in a good place.
Yeah.
And luckily I have some other good sponsors behind me that are following me from Sherco. I still have Red Bull, but it's just been an absolute chaos montage the last few months trying to dial everything in to finish the rest of my program. So I'm factory Yamaha, but not really. Like I'm my own team. I'm my own thing. So I'm factory supported privateer from Yamaha. So I have a whole slew of bikes. And yeah, I was able to somehow pull this all together. I got some help from you a little bit here and there, even. So thanks to you for that. So I was like, "Oh, I got to come on the show." He helped me out some.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that, man. The um yeah, that's, I mean, seriously, it's crazy. Obviously, all the Yamaha fanatics, myself being one, are super stoked to see this. Obviously, the biggest question that everybody keeps hammering on is what. First of all, what have you done to? We'll start with the two strokes. What have you done to them, modifying of any kind, if you have, and then are you in cahoots with Yamaha to help like develop an e-start and all that? Everybody thinks that that's what's going on, or what maybe Yamaha's hoping might come out of this.
Yeah. So first off, like I just barely got the bikes right at the last kind of round of enduro cross, and obviously I'm still under contract with Sherco, so I'm not like going to do silly stuff there because I want to respect that. So all I've been doing, like those couple clips that you guys have seen so far, I have another really nice one coming, top secret one that I'll probably
Nice.
post soon. But I'm on a bone stalker, almost bone stalker. I got mooses, I got tires, I got Renthal bars, XC gear clamp, and ASV levers, and everything else is bone stock. Change
Right.
the jetting.
Yeah. Nice.
So first edition will be a flywheel weight. I'm pretty sure of that one.
Yeah, for sure. The
And then to answer your second question about development with Yamaha, um, they are very professional. I found out, and I'm very impressed so far. Like I've had multiple calls, and each call I'm like with the engineers at GYTR, and those guys kind of trying to do like the planning for the future and development stuff. They are already utilizing me, so that's cool. I'm going testing next week in Alabama.
nice.
Um, but I am under NDA, so I got to keep things too
Gotcha.
secret.
Yeah. No, that's fair
But
enough.
there's some cool stuff. Like everyone's like, "Oh, 300." Like I, I don't know. I don't think so. But there's some other cool stuff coming for the X's that should be pretty sweet.
Nice. And are your bikes all X's?
I got three 250Xs, so I'll have two different race bikes that'll kind of swap back and forth through the year. And then one practice bike. And then I got for endurocross. I hate the fact somewhat that I will be escaping the two stroke, but just for my new brand ambassador racer team, I gotta get some variety in there. So I'll be on the 250 FX
Right on.
for endurocross, and I got a 450 just for the hell of it because
Because
why
why?
not? And that bike is amazing. I've never been felt so comfy on a chassis in my life yesterday at Thunder Valley.
Nice, dude. That's
And I got
awesome.
a Tenere coming. I don't know when I'll get it, but eventually.
So, quick shout out. I got a couple folks here that just questions. First of all, the guy from Omniwall just wanted to say hi. He's from Indiana, and he said you might remember his club, Stony Lonesome MC from Indiana. I don't know if you remember those guys.
I think so. If it's who I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, he just said to say hi. Uh,
Yeah.
so, and he helps me out a whole bunch. Like whatever, they're rad. Um, but I want to start with my absolute favorite question. By what percentage will the questions about him and Cooper Webb being related increase?
I don't know. It was like, I mean, it already happened once because we were both on factory KTM at the same time. So there is a difference now because I've been able to hold off the dad bod weight a little bit better than Cooper Webb has, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and he's Monster. I'm Red Bull. Red Bull's better.
Yeah, that was. Oh, that was yeah. It was awesome.
I
Uh,
actually was talking to Fly Racing a little bit, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I like talked to them, and I didn't even send them a proposal because I'm like, this won't be right. I can't do this to myself.
that's so awesome. Uh, so yeah, a big question is: are you going to put an electric start on one of those X's? We've already
Yeah,
talked about it,
probably two of the X's, and I need a fan. I've got really good better technical support than I expected from Yamaha. So like their racing department, they just mocked up a fan and made a bracket and everything for me for my two stroke because I told him that was my biggest concern. I'm like, everything else is fine. I'll figure it out. But like, I'm not a machinist and I don't want to take the time to send it to someone to make me a nice aluminum bracket to hold my fan. And I'm
yeah,
not going to tie it on like I've seen on other YouTube videos that people do.
Right.
So
What are you putting it in a battery? Like how's
yeah,
it?
so I have a battery. So I think on the kickstart option, I need to call Steely off road today, but they have like a stator set up to run lights and like a voltage regulator and everything. So for that one, I will just have like little stator thing in there to recharge a battery for the fan.
Yeah.
And then on the kickstart ones, Panthera has.
Sorry.
I know. Otherwise, I gotta do fish motors, and then I lose the battery's gonna die. I'm gonna have two batteries and have like a map switch on
Yeah.
the bars to turn the
Well,
fan off and on.
hopefully the bike just doesn't die
Yeah,
altogether. That's my like I'll, I don't want a bad mouth pan. Well, I do want a bad mouth Panthera, but I know you're dealing with them. But their
I
mechanical
don't
part
think
of
he
that
wants
is
to
killing
actually
me.
sell anything because he doesn't answer your email or call you back. I
Yeah,
don't think he's actually trying to sell.
dude, he's the worst. So, I
Yeah,
mean, the owner of that company is the worst. So, like, the the mechanical part of it works fine. Honestly, the biggest thing I had trouble with was the electronics, and it always like no spark situation. So,
yeah. Well, he
yeah,
said he's got a new one, and
that's good,
it's
perfect.
yeah
You know what I wonder?
because of those issues people were having. I think.
Right. What I wonder is if you can't use the Steely one, because really, I mean, the Steely, I don't see why the Steely one wouldn't work with
With
that
a
thing,
fish,
with the other flywheel, because the stator size and all that has to be the same.
yeah.
Whatever, it's a long story, but anyway, we could talk about that. I think the Steely one would actually work with that, and then you'd be good. But
With the fish motors one.
or with the Panthera one.
Oh, but not use his
Don't
electronics
use
for
his
the
electronics because his electronics are Chinese and they're
yeah,
terrible. So whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that. um, but hold on, I got a few more questions. I got a bunch of questions. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any.
There
Uh,
is something coming from GYTR maybe, but it's not quite prepared yet. So
nice. That's good to hear. I That'd be awesome.
I know that won't break.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, exactly. If it's the Yamaha part, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Todd Colvin asks, who's gonna babysit Riley Bender now?
I'll probably still babysit him.
Okay, that's good.
It'll still be me.
That's good. We don't want
Yeah, we're
Riley.
all doing the same thing. Like, there's no reason to just hate on someone because they're not on the same bike. Like,
Oh no, I know it's a joke. um. So Brian Martinson asked, "Are you going to ride Hardender on the Tenere?" Obviously, you said a little bit of that. Do you have any big plans
probably.
for
I
it?
mean, I'm gonna do cool stuff and ride places you shouldn't be on it and take it, up dumb trails. But I don't want, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't plan on doing a harder on it.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
plan on
right
it.
on. I mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
What question for me is like, what is your planned first planned race on the Yamaha, and then first planned hard enduro on the Yamaha?
They will both be the same. So it'll be King of Motos mid to end of January, whenever that is.
Nice.
So I have some work to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get that thing, especially the fan situation, but you'll get that sorted out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Austin Grice. I don't know how to pronounce this. I want to know if he's got enough time on the bike to distinguish advantages/disadvantages between the aluminum frame and the Euro stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on a KTM in a while, so I don't really have like a great answer on that. I haven't been on any of the new ones, but the frame chassis on the YZ250X is definitely like easier to grip the bike than the Sherco down low. The Sherco has like a weird, funky foot peg tabs,
Yeah.
and the Yamaha is just nicer to stand on, and it's different in that regard on the chassis. But like, it feels great, like standing on it. I still feel big on it, but I felt it feels like more appropriate for my size than the Sherco still.
Oh, right on. Are
Yeah.
you planning on lowering pegs and things like that? Are you gonna?
Yeah, the guy sends them to me for
Who's that? Who are you dealing with?
Raptor pegs out of
Oh,
UK.
Well, if you
And he's like,
want,
yeah, we got you. Do this. And then it's like, hey, when are you sending those? Like, hey, you're sending those out. And he's just leaving me unread on WhatsApp. I'm like, come on, bro.
well, if you want some stainless steel ones, I can make that happen for you really fast. They
Yeah.
look just like the Raptors. They're just stainless instead of tie. Um, but yeah, Ben Nicholson up in he's actually in Canada, but whatever. First Track Motorsports. He's gotten me pegs for all the stuff, and he'd be super happy to fire you off a set if you can't get those from those guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. How does the suspension feel compared to a dedicated woods bike?
Suspension's good, honestly. I would call it a woods bike, honestly. Like you can just open the compression open the compression a little bit, but the KYB is so versatile, like across the board, on the Sherco 2 and the YZ. Like I rode 5 miles of hell on bone stock and I just like opened the clickers 4 clicks. I should have done more, but honestly, it feels really good. For like true hard enduro, it still needs to be softer. So I'll get to that.
Yeah, nice. Our Marco Pezzica, who's a good friend of ours here, Italian man, wants to know if you're going to be racing Erzberg this year.
I'm going back. Red Bull wants me there. They got the Carson Brown investment and they want, yeah. So I'm
Nice.
getting help to go there this time, which is nice.
Sweet. And obviously gonna probably just take your suspension, whatever.
Yeah, I'll take my suspension and then I'll probably have to go to the US Hard Enduro. Those guys, those jackasses, they put like Tough Like Roar and Locked and Loaded on the same weekend. And I fought so hard to separate it. And Tristan was like, no, I don't want to go back and forth. I'm like, dude, I'm old. I can't do this back to back. And then we got to go straight to Erzberg. So yeah, I got to get there as soon as I can because obviously the stock bike isn't quite as like close to what I need it to be as like a Sherco or KTM. So I have, some heads to change, fly, like I got more work to do, but it's all
Nice.
feasible.
Are you going to be doing all GYT heads and things like that?
Funny enough, I ordered everything. So I think '06 and older stock YZ 250 head was like the highest compression head they had. So I have that for my house. And then like Donner and Silver Kings and some of those other higher elevation races, I'll run the super high head. And then the rest of the races, I'll just be on like a stock YZ 250 head because the X has lower compression.
Right. Right on. Someone's asking what bars you run and do you run risers? I know you don't run risers, but
No, Renthal 996. They're taller than what I had been running on the ODIs, but it feels good.
right on. Let's see. Everybody's super psyched. What is your first gnarly trail that you plan to do on the Tenere?
Oh, I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know. I think by my house, I want to do something first to do like a shakedown. So there's like a nasty, rocky Jeep road that it's really not that fun because it's not like fun rocks for me because you can go kind of fast.
Right.
So, and there's some aggressive stuff. So I'll probably do that because it's close to the house in case I break something.
Are you are you gonna work with Paul? Are you gonna get same like suspension settings and things like that?
Yeah, I've been in touch with like the rally guys and they sent a ton of stuff over here for Pole that he never used. So it's like 12 grand worth of GYTR stuff that I can buy at 20% off. I have to buy it, but it's fine.
Oh,
It's 20%.
yeah,
It's okay. I got a W wheel sponsor, so I got custom wheels coming from my Tenere, and it's got the GY. So I could probably sell the wheel set for 2 grand.
yeah. There you go,
Yeah,
dude. That's
we're
awesome.
hustling over here now.
Uh, Matt Simpson, smart carb or stock? That's a good question.
Stock for now. I have too many things I need to dick with, so I'll probably mess with the smart carb later, but stock for now.
And are you going to be putting a hydraulic clutch setup on it?
I got one Magura I ordered, so that'll be on my Kickstart Cody bike. We'll have the Magura because from what I've been able to find out was you can't put hydro if you have e-start.
Yeah, the flywheel. Yeah, it doesn't fit though because have you seen the way the hydro works? It's like a little, I don't know, the slave
Kind
cylinders.
of. There's like a little slave thing in there. Yeah, it takes up some space.
Yeah, it's fun.
Um, everyone keeps going. Like I can do. Okay, so not that everyone's going to watch this. I'm going to have to say this probably 10 more times, but I have the freedom to do whatever I want as long as it's still a Yamaha. I have blue plastics, a Yamaha logo on the side. Like I can put e-start. Everyone keeps saying I can't do that. I can put an e-start. I can
Yeah,
do hydro clutch. I can do pretty much anything because it's a race bike.
right. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I mean, I think it's super cool that Yamaha, first of all, is even, you know,
Interested in this.
interested in a hard enduro off road at all. And then the fact that they've obviously been super, super helpful is rad. Um,
Yeah, they're secretly paying attention. We just never knew it.
oh,
I
really?
found out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because they're in Georgia, or like a huge part of it's in Georgia. So they're going to TKO every year. You just don't know they're there because I've
uh,
met them here before. So they have some ideas.
nice. That's awesome. It's good to hear because, again,
They're so
all the
they're
Yamaha
so,
people.
they're so conservative. Like which is working for them right now because KTM was like push, 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 develop, develop, develop. First year is terrible. Everyone hates the bike. They get the bike good by the third year, and then they come out with a new model, and everyone's mad again because the bike sucks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be the case with Yamaha because I'm riding a quote unquote 20-year-old motorcycle, and the thing still rips. I couldn't believe like I hadn't ridden one since 2010, and the first time I rode it, I rode some technical stuff and like flowy trail, single track, two track, and the dirt was good. And like that was the most fun motorcycle I had ridden on something like that. The thing, it's so fast. I need to figure out how to like get it to like use the power versus just holding on.
Yeah. Now,
In
they're,
that regard, I am not doing a 300 jug like everyone is telling me to do. It's staying at 250. You guys are
I
a bunch of know-it-alls. I'm tired
the
of it.
250. I've always thought like the only reason I moved off of Yamaha was because I wanted an electric start and to try
Yeah,
a KTM. It was 2012. The KTM, they just put a link in, blah blah blah. I'm like, try it, and it was like, oh, this is pretty awesome to
yeah,
have a button on this motorcycle,
yeah.
and
The button press.
it's like I just stuck with it, and obviously the cat is out of the bag on my whole Fantic thing, which is rad because from all accounts, I talked to people in Europe that have them, are like, dude, it's just a YZ but with electric start and fuel injection and
Yeah.
modern stuff, which is rad. Super psyched about that, but and of course. Everybody keeps saying I need to have you come out and ride it. I would love to have you have
That's
you
saying by
yeah, oh
Spider
yeah.
one.
I'd love to have you come out and ride the Fantic sometime. Uh we should do
Undisclosed, of course, undisclosed.
yeah, absolutely. But we'll have a we should whatever. We'll talk about that later about some ideas with that Tenere and some other things out here would be sweet.
Someone mentioned the hit list. I have it. I haven't put it in yet. I feel like this. If I'm happy about this, and I think they won't be able to keep up with demand if we pump this up if it's good. Because I've heard really good things about the hit list.
Yeah, we have it on one of my kids' YZ250s, and he loves it. Like
Yeah,
absolutely loves it. He crushed this year on it. He went from uh, mid to back of the pack C class to winning races on that 250 with the hit list, and it's just like, yeah, it's so sweet. I mean, yeah, it's awesome.
I think that's going to be a hot ticket.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be super good. And you're right. Poor Tim will probably not be able to keep up,
Yeah,
and it might ruin his life in a very good way.
yeah.
Let's see real quick. Matt Andres asked, "Is there going to be a 250X with electric start?" Not yet.
On my bike,
Yeah, on his. Yeah.
and yeah, you have to make it still.
Yeah.
But it's still cheaper than buying a KTM off the showroom floor. So keep that in mind.
By a lot, actually.
Yeah.
um, and
So about back to the Fantic real quick.
yeah,
I had like, because obviously there keeps being talks of people trying to get them over here. Like you had the one-off one. So you're the first to do it, but I know people want to like actually try and distribute them. Um, and I never actually talked to Fantic, but I had people talking to Fantic for me, and they were trying to get me on the bike. And I turned it down just because there's no resources, and like I was Sherco's way better off than Fantic is in the States right now, right? So like
Oh yeah.
Yamaha, I have a whole plethora of anything and everything. I know it's reliable. So the Fantic, I'm sure it's good, but if I have an issue, I have no technical support because Yamaha is going to be like, psh, like that's not our motor. That's not any of this. Like it's just basically their chassis. So and sponsorship wise, for me to get support, you can't believe how much more like involvement I got and like interest from everyone I reached out to because I was on a Yamaha bringing it to the sport. And talking to people yesterday at the motocross track, I brought up Fantic and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, only enduro guys know what a Fantic is." So I didn't want to put myself in that position again, you know?
Yeah, no, I can't. That would be a terrible move for you, as a guy. As a
I
guy
didn't want to say that, but
oh no, I just want you to come out and ride it just to have fun.
yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I'm all about it, but like,
yeah, no.
where they're at getting him here, it would be difficult for me.
Well, and like you said, it's such a tiny company. There's no way they could offer you the same financial package either, right? Like, it's
Well,
just
the bikes I get to keep and sell, and
and you can't like you'll never be able to sell parts for that Fanic. I mean, other than chassis parts, but like you
yeah.
can't. Anyway, whatever. The only like, for me, obviously, the only reason I'm doing it is because it's great for YouTube. So
Why not?
yeah, it's super good for YouTube, and it's cost basically the same as buying a KTM off the floor. Like all told, shipping, duties, tax, everything, it's going to be actually a little bit less than buying a brand new 300 KTM.
Yeah, not terrible.
But
Not
it's
terrible.
again, I mean, if it breaks, I'm screwed. I just have a
Yeah.
brick.
Well, you can fix anything chassis related.
Yeah, and I'll eventually could fix anything in the motor, but it'd be whatever, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Let's see.
So
Nate Bear.
the power valve mod is for the 250X and Wise. They're the same, so you can do whatever you want on the
Oh yeah,
power valve.
on the hit list, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's dude, the hit list is good, guys. I'm telling you right now, the hit list is very, very good. Super well designed, and actually, it's an interesting thing coming from like an engineering perspective, how it works, and you still don't lose over rev. I don't know, but Tim's a smarter man than me, so
Yeah. That's why he
uh,
made it not.
yeah. Let's see. Vancouver Island single track. How different does the rider triangle feel from the Sherco to the Yamaha? You already talked a little bit about that, but
Yeah,
um,
for me, it's more comfy as a taller rider. Like I had to run a taller seat and everything on the Sherco, and when I was like climbing up hills, just like the way the triangle was, whether I was sitting or standing, I had a hard time keeping the front end to like stay lower. Like I would hit stuff and just be like, whoa. And that was like a common trend. Like even when Theodore Kabachev got on the Sherco, he said the same thing. I was like, you're going to feel the front end light going up hills. So it kind of like lets you get up over the front easier as a taller rider, I feel like on the Yamaha. And that the 450 at the motocross track was the most comfy I've ever been. I didn't even adjust the rear brake pedal or anything. Like sent to the local dealer, picked it up, put my bars on it, didn't adjust the rear brake pedal or anything. I went and rode it, and it was perfect.
nice.
Yeah.
Are you maybe going to get into racing motocross?
Um, not motocross. No. No.
The I don't know. It'd be pretty sweet. You should do the Vet Nationals or something like that.
Yeah, maybe that would be kind of cool. I need to get better, but I know I'm ready. I'm training. I'm training for it.
Nice.
And dude, you have to ride a 450. Like my 302 stroke Sherco at Thunder Valley. I'm like everywhere going as hard as I can. You can't do that on a 450. Your arms will blow up and explode from arm pump. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's dude. I had a 450. The last 450 I had was an 18, and it was God, whatever. It's so fun to climb hills on it because like it's big smooth hills.
Yeah, I'm not taking this thing trail riding. I can, yeah.
Yeah. So what wrist injury did you have? You said something about someone's.
Yeah, I've had a couple. My right wrist, I had like your lunate is next to your scaphoid. The scaphoid is the problem one that will like can ruin your career. Um, so I broke that. I think I had ligament damage they never found, and then I annihilated it and broke my end of my radius in 22 or something. So yeah, I was stuck like this for 12 weeks with 5 pins in my wrist to put all the. I basically popped my lunate out of place. That was really bad, and like Phil Nicoletti's had it, Tristan Hart's had it, and his wrist is like this when he rides. I don't even know how he rides. And then just recently, when I was at Erzberg, when I hurt my knee and my wrist, I kept telling him my wrist hurt, but nothing was showing up, and that's an issue with scaphoid injuries, is they don't really show up till it's healing. But I got 2 MRIs. I bruised my scaphoid, and then it felt pretty good. And I started riding, and I was just going downhill. And I'm like, I'm getting worse. Um, so the second MRI basically said that it wasn't healing and getting worse with the bone bruising, which I found out sometimes a bone bruise is worse than a break, because if it breaks, it'll start healing because like there's chemical reactions in there. So I was basically on my way to a stress fracture, and I just had a screw put in my scaphoid just to hold it together. And then the fact that they went in there and kind of deterred it promoted healing, they said. But I couldn't do a push up or anything. I can do push ups now, and it's way better.
Nice.
Some stuff still hurts, but as a whole, it was the right move if I wanted to keep racing.
Yeah, I've broken both my scaphoids. One I had fixed with a screw. The other one I never did fix, and whatever. Fortunately, I don't make a living riding motorcycles, so
They both suck.
yeah, yeah, we're all good. People keep mentioning heads, guys. He's going to be using. We've already talked about it. Yamaha heads for now. I'm sure all the head manufacturers.
I've already been hit up by TSP yesterday from both UK and America.
Nice.
Two-stroke performance. Yeah, the TSP heads. So
So
I
that
guess
would be Australia and
Australia. Yeah, the Australia guy didn't hit me up, but two of their distributor guys did, and they're like, "We want you on this." But apparently, the Australian guy was huge in the YZ 125 250 realm, and apparently he built his own injection system for YZ.
yeah,
So
he's a freaking mad scientist. So his name's Dave McCarthy, and he's
yeah, he's
rad.
like gotten invited to KTM things, and the dude's he's an Einstein for that whole engine department.
Yeah, my one of my kids is running a TSP head on his wife, and the other kid's running an AHM or no AVM. I forget. Anyway, I should remember that because they gave it to me. But they're both good. But the TSP one it's wicked. It's really good. Super smooth. Like
Yeah, that's what he said. It's like not only is it the compression that matters, but the way it's all slanted and the dome is created, like it's meant to be a linear
yeah,
curve.
absolutely. Let's see. Does Yamaha have a trials partnership anymore?
So funny thing about there's a bunch of clauses in your contract, and I like couldn't ride anything else related to X or this or that. And I'm like, hey, what about a trials bike? Like, can I do that? I'm like, here's these X brands that don't make enduro bikes that wouldn't be a competitor. I have the option to ride a Scorpa, but Scorpa, they don't have that partnership anymore. So it'd be kind of wild to get one of those like Yamaha electric trials bikes. I don't know if you've seen those that the
Yeah,
Japanese guys have been riding. I don't ride enough trials anymore to it would really matter if I had gas or electric, to be honest.
yeah.
But I do have a Scorpa coming eventually at some point.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, oh, is Steve? Dude, this last name is awesome. Gigliotti, like like my favorite last name ever. Uh, is the 250 gonna crawl like the 300? So let me rephrase that a little bit for what I think he means. Like, is the stock? Well, since you're riding an X, the hit's not nearly as crazy as the normal YZ, but
Which
is
is
it
crazy because the hit now is wild, I think. It's
right?
compared to a Sherco.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like, is it hard for you to control that thing in the hard stuff? Do you find it tough to deal with the clutch and all that?
Yeah, it's not necessarily like it's getting away from me. It's just like needing that there when you want it. So right now it's like it'll fall on its face stock a little bit, and then you like give it some gas, and you're like, whoa, too
Yeah.
much. Like, but it's not like looping out or anything. Like that's not my issue. So I've heard really good things about the GYTR flywheel weight, so that's what I have to throw on there. I think with a little bit of mods, I shouldn't be having any issues.
And once you put the hitless in there, dude, it will be a it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then Weeby Racing. This is my good friend MJ. What would it take to get you to one of our races? That's our little local hair.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do that on the Tenere. That seems like a fun thing to do.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Marco, it's Italian Morgan.
Gigliotti.
Because Marco, I guessed on his name, it's Pezzica.
Yeah.
So we've already a little
bit. I love this question. Where does the 250 lack from a 300? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's marketing.
There we go. Nice.
It's marketing. Like there's a reason why people want them and that the resale is higher. It's like a Toyota versus a Chevy. Like, I don't know, I guess the reliability is better, but like I have more fun riding 250s. Like even on the Sherco 250, the KTM 250, it's more fun to ride just the way the power is. For hard enduro, maybe not, but like there's still plenty of power there. It's just a little bit different. And I think most 300s aren't even a 300, right? Aren't they like 272 to 290 range or something?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on which one
like
it is.
The Fantic is 72, or it's a square motor, and it's 292, I think.
Yeah, they're not all 300s, but
yeah.
But I think it's more of a marketing thing. Like they make X amount, they kind of make it tricky to get, and everyone rides them in hard enduro. So, they're more of like an everyman's bike. Like, you're 40 to 70-year-old rider. Like they're just going to hop on a 300 and go. And then those are the guys that have more money because they're more established in life. So they're willing to pay more for that bike. And so I think it's a marketing thing, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at the dyno numbers on them, I mean, from the factories, the peak horsepower is the same on both bikes. Yeah. It's just the curve to get there is a little bit different, and so I mean, technically, your left hand can take care of that.
Like when I was riding trials, and even when I first was at Sherco, I was playing with stuff, and I was actually putting like 250 domes on the 300 because that compression is different,
Yeah, awesome. Well, right on. It is 8:07. We're going to shut this thing down so that you can get on with your day, make some phone calls, get some more parts for those YZ.
Yeah, I got to call Steely. I got to call your buddy at Panthera.
Oh, dude, Sebastian. Like, dude, if you could get him to down to the States.
I think I spent like 3 weeks emailing back and forth, and it would be like 6 days later he emailed me back. And finally I was like, he gave me a phone number, but like it wouldn't go through. It was like some weird thing. It's like a French voicemail. And I'm like, they only speak French in France and Eastern Canada, right? Like English is kind of universal across the board. Like Chinese aren't speaking French to do business.
No. And like if you could ever get him
to call the office directly to get through to the guy.
Yeah, get him to Colorado.
Like, I know who you are. Like, I asked some people about you because I think you'll be a valuable help to promote Panthera. I'm like, you think? Like, do you?
I asked some people, like he needed to ask people about you. Like what?
Yeah, I think he's too busy making 500cc two strokes or something.
Yeah, he's super full of himself. We had a long conversation one evening about how I didn't know what I was doing and what I did didn't actually fix his kit. I'm like, well, it did fix it. It fixed it. It was not working. I did what I did and now it works. So I don't know what. Anyway, yeah. It's awesome.
I guess I'll do one last question. Is Cody running a full A kit on his bikes? I'm not, because that costs money and it's not that big of a difference. It's marketing again. They get you.
Shiny coatings.
Yeah. looks awesome, but my bank account isn't happy after that. So
Right on. Sweet. Right on, guys. Thank you so much for watching Punk Rock Club. You know I love you the most. Cody, thank you so much. Hang out for just 1 second here before we actually get off. Guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. God bless each and every one of you, and get out and ride your dirt bikes.